Hey, it's Michael. Welcome to part 2, which is dedicated to the search and filters. And this time I'm going to show you how to create JQL super fast, and also how to convert the basic search functionality into more advanced. So yes, this is actually all real life examples. Also, just to let you know, all the stuff what you're going to see on this video and the previous one is part of my brand new training course, which is dedicated to the search filters, dashboards, and easy BI. And the more details about this training course you're going to find in the description. All right, so previously we've been talking about the basic search function, also about the global one. So now we're going to carry on, and still I'm going to use my Jira Cloud. However, that JQL what I'm going to use this time also going to work for the server. If not, let me know in the comments, because I can actually help you. I can translate that JQL for the if for instance in the server doesn't work. And of course, a little bit warning, because it's such a massive subject. This video lesson can be a little bit longer. Let's get to it. All right, so I am on my Jira Cloud, and by the way, every example is based on the real life example, is of course on that document, and of course the link to that you're gonna find in the description. So we need a project again, and we need some data. And before we're gonna do it, I'm begging you, please do not just watch this. You have to introduce that knowledge into practice, yeah? Because believe me, when I was learning JQL, just like watching countless YouTube tutorials, reading the blog articles, and I was like, oh, I know that. But when I started, I was like, I don't know anything. So this is only going to work if you keep doing it. Even, sometimes I keep stop coding for like, let's say a week or sometimes two, and I'm keep forgetting about this. That's why we're also going to utilize filters for that. Right, so first things first, let's find out how we can utilize the search and where we're going to find it. So it is a little bit confusing even to me. I'm going to explain right now how to do it. So I prefer this, as we call this, issue navigator, because it's historical data, which is associated with the project. But that little confusing thing is there is also filters. If we go to filters, advanced search issues, which I'm going to show you right now, it looks very similar. And they call it actually, by the way, I think advanced mode or something like this, which to me, yeah, I just don't really understand why not. I'm going to keep it one, but anyway, I'm going to show you my way how I'm going to do it. So again, as I said before, we need some sample data, yeah, because obviously how are we going to search if the project is empty? So I have actually project which is the Scrum. It doesn't, by the way, it doesn't really matter. I'm using this one for actually Scrum. But if it's Kanban, it's going to work fine. But why actually Scrum? Because I've got this special command in JQL command, like the special coding in the JQL, which is going to show you a little bit more details about the active sprint, which is going to be part of the JQL. And I'm also going to focus on the boolean search. So I'm going to actually focus on what is the difference between or and and. Yep, and how to start super quickly. So if we go to the project, navigate, choose the project, make sure you've got some data, yeah? And now you need to go to the issues. If you go to issues, I believe you need to go to like all issues. Again, it doesn't really matter too much. Why? Because we need that screen, what actually you're seeing right here in on your monitor. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to put this a little bit aside. And what we've got over here, previously I showed you, we've been using basic functionality. And of course, the link to that previous video, you're going to find it in the description. And as I told you before, you can, for instance, like we're looking for the demo, let's say a keyword. Yeah. So you put that demo word into this search bar here. And now we narrowing down, just limiting the search. It's going to be for our Scrum project, yes, because by the way, you can do it, of course, in 3 or 4 different projects. You go for the type, yeah, you go for the status if you want, you can go for assign. And for instance, like before, maybe if you've been planning to use, like for instance, due date, I don't think I've actually used due date, but you can actually select the due date and now go into that range, yeah. And actually, this is pretty much interesting because I really want to do it just to show you something. Yeah, because my, let's say like my little issue, if we're talking about the advanced search, which is the JQL, is most of the time stuff related to the dates. You have to just keep doing it. And one of like my tips is sometimes I talk to my students about this. You just like, if you keep doing it, doing, just like suddenly you're gonna click, and from there you will be able to do it so much smoother. But okay, what I'm talking about and why I'm going to use that basic function is because look, if we, let's say, select what was that, like the story, yeah, and again status, we go for whatever to do, and the due date, yes, we're going to due date is going to be something like, let's go like something pretty wild. So let's say it is something like, oh, maybe more than, let's have like 100 days if we're gonna find anything. Yeah, so okay, but anyway, it's not going to actually show anything, so let's actually do it. It should 10. Yeah, we've got actually 3. That's fine. Excellent. So look at this. I've created this actually filter, and as I told you, one of my tips is you can very smoothly go to a basic search to advanced using this section, what I've been actually using before. And what is happening, very interesting, Jira is going to help you, and it is going to build a JQL for you, like in the background. And have a look what we've got over here. So by the way, this is actually where you're going to put your JQL queries. And why I prefer this section instead of the advanced, because you can actually go, as you can see over here, to advanced, because Jira is going to add this coloring stuff. So really cool. And oh, by the way, maybe I forgot to tell you this. If you look at the details view, which you can switch it between them, it doesn't really matter for this actually purpose. We're going to use that list view. And yes, of course, it is possible also to customize this grid, as I call it over here, but at the moment, you cannot do it on this screen. You have to go to this advanced. But if we go to this advanced, which I showed you in the beginning, it looks very similar. But for instance, like losing this coloring stuff, which is not really, like, to be honest, very big deal. However, it's good to have it. Yep. So what happened? Let's analyze this code for a second. So how we can start coding something which we never done it before. That is my recommendation. Use the basic and have a look how Jira is going to help you to build that, yeah? Because believe me, this is pretty cool stuff, yeah? And we can analyze it right now. So we've got project SSB. What is that SSB? It's a key. It's the project key, because you do not have to. If you do not know the project key, we're going to do it right now. Just like delete that. And as you wait for a second, I'm going to be a demo. Scrum, or I think is sample. Something's SSB. Yeah, so it's a Scrum project B, whatever it names, crazy name. But as you can see, it is, you can use a keyword like the key, yeah, or you can use the project name. That's absolutely fine, yeah. So let's see, it's still searching because obviously it's the same SSB, yeah. And it's a boolean, yeah. You're gonna use them a lot. And what's here? We've got something like text. So means I am looking for that keyword demo, but let's actually remove that because I don't need that. And just to let you know, we will start in a second from scratch. Yeah, and next one we've got the type. And the type, what's the type? What's the story? So it is issue type, yeah? And status must be to do, and due date must be more than 10 days. And of course there is that one order one, which I already did that. So look at this. It's actually, you can think maybe it's like kind of sophisticated query, but it is not. It is super simple. And I'm going to show you how to do it from scratch, because Jira, as I told you, is going to help you to do that. Yeah. So again, I'm going to delete that, or you can actually save it somewhere in the note. But by the way, you can save this into your filters, but we're going to do it in a different way from very scratch. So every single time, so we're going to go for search, like this. So that's good. That's like everything in Jira, yeah. Every time you can, of course, save it as the filter. But before you're going to start creating your query, it's good to have it a goal. What you want to achieve. Yes. So let's say for the presentation purpose, I would actually create JQL, not with the basics, something really basic, but not basic JQL, list all stories which belong to this project SSP or SSB, I have whatever, and also which is the assign to me. Yeah, because this is like, more, let's say, close something more real life example. Okay, so always I will start from project. Yeah, in my case, because maybe you don't really need actually to have a project if you're looking, let's say, for assignees and the issue type story in a whole Jira. Yeah, so of course you're not going to put the project. And please remember now, if we use one element, like for instance project, issue type, whatever, it could be assigning or something else, or resolution, whatever we're going to use, not the date. For one, we're going to use equals, but for many, we're going to use in. I'm going to show you just in a second how to do it. Yeah? So project equals SSB, sample scrum. Yeah. Okay. And you can even hit that search button right now, because it's going to provide everything, and I believe it's something like 41 tickets. Okay, looks good. So now let's narrow it down. Yeah, and now we need that boolean. So what does that boolean mean? So if there is and, means one parameter and the second parameter must match to provide the result. And as I told you, I need issue type, and look at this. I just want to show you like how quickly you can issue type space equals, and we'll go for story because it's Scrum. Yeah. And look, now again I'm gonna go hit search, and what's happened? We've got less. We've got 26. And now the most interesting part, please remember about this, like write it down maybe, how to add the assignee. So I'm going to again and. So as you can see, I'm adding this and. It's like reducing the amount of the results. Why? Because we're just asking Jira to provide more detailed report. Yeah. So I'm going to go for assignee, and now something magic happens. If you hit that equals, we're going to stay for a second. We have few options, and one of my favorite is current user. And look at this. I think they recently changed it, because obviously if I'm creating that JQL for myself, I don't have a problem to put my name. Yeah, there you go. Oh, now this is pretty cool. Like that. Now the JQL is with the picture of me, which is cool. But hold on, because maybe I will be also using this JQL in my team. So maybe my colleagues want to use it. So obviously if I put in my name and give that JQL or create a filter and share it with my teammate, well, it's going to be a little bit pointless, because he probably doesn't really care how many tickets is assigned to me. He wants to know how many tickets is assigned to himself. So that's why we've got this special parameter, which is current user. And look at this, it is the same one. However, if you now even save this filter, because of course, you can actually send it to someone by whatever, Slack or something like this. And if that will be you're going to execute it in your Jira, obviously it is going to work. Yeah, so please remember about this. And we have at the moment 9 tickets. Yeah. All right. So what about the sorting? Yeah, because I'm not really sure even what is the sorting default. I think it's sort something. I think maybe by created, but it doesn't really matter, because we also gonna use the command sort. And of course, you can actually hit space and add order by. But I'm gonna give you my tip. The fastest way is to click somewhere else, like for instance on created. And there you go. Jira is gonna add this automatically for you. And of course, you can actually do ascending, yeah, or descending. But again, you can change this by clicking. Yeah, so that's ascending, that's descending. Right? How cool is this? Now, very important stuff. Always when you have kind of like a base of your JQL, save it. Yeah, why we can save it? Because you don't really want to save this somewhere in your notepad or I don't know, Word or something like this. You've got one of the most powerful feature are filters. Please remember, filters equals JQL like this, but it doesn't need to be JQL. You can use basic functionality, but come on, you're gonna promise me you're not gonna use basic Jira function. Maybe for the dates, that's not gonna be a problem. All right, so let's save it, and I'm gonna give you my tip how to save the filter. So do not use this or demo one, because believe me, next day you're gonna forget this. So something what is gonna tell you. So I'm gonna say SSB, which is under I know the project key, and I say story my ticket, something like this, and I know straight away, okay, that's going to be story and only my ticket, and I'm going to save this. Yeah. Before you can save it, of course, you can share the filters. That's what I told you. One of the most powerful feature, if we're talking about the filters, you can share them. Why you can share them? Because someone can create, based on that, create, for instance, dashboard, which, by the way, this is going to be our next new video, which coming this week, is about dashboards. Yeah. So you can say, let's say viewers. Yeah, and I always go for project or group, but let's say projects. And again, you can go for whatever. I'm not going to go for any projects because I'm using Jira free version. I do not have roles. Yeah, but if you have a roles, if you've got a paid version, you can add the roles. Like, for instance, you can have a filter for developers. You can have a filter for administrators, for Scrum Master, and so, yeah. And when you're ready, one thing, do not forget to hit that add, because very often people just like spend some time on this creating and doing save. So that is not gonna add these viewers. Yeah, you have to add it, yeah, like this. And of course, there is another one. We can also add someone who wants to be an editor if you want to change the filter. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it like this and hit save it. So what happened? Interesting thing happens. Filters has been saved. And as you can also hear over just like this information, yeah, I'm going to open it a new tab. It is now changed the name. So I've got on top a name. And yes, in this case, we switch to this advanced mode, which I told you is like a little bit similar, but is different. a little bit similar, but is different. I prefer this one, as I told you, because the coding, and you can do this fancy stuff like export, you can share it, you can also do the bulk change. So this is actually how you're gonna bulk change, and you can import issues from CSV to Jira. This is one of the cases how you can do it. Yeah. So where they are located, filters will be located, of course, when you save them under filters. And if you navigate to I've got like a pretty long list, as you can see. However, if you go to view all filters and navigate to all, which is at the moment the default one, and I believe they like alphabetical. Yeah. So I think we need to find out where is like my filter. So the owner, yeah, the project, also the group, yeah. So if you look at for SSB, maybe it's on the second page. I think it is somewhere here. Yeah, and it is on the list. So I need to actually start cleaning them up. And I believe it's this one, yeah. All right, so now you know how to create the JQL, how to save them. So now let's have a little bit more fun with the JQL. And also you know how to even do the bulk change or import issues from the CSV. So let's have a little bit more fun with the JQL. By the way, I'm also going to include that to the description. There is very, very, very good help with the syntax regarding JQL. If you navigate to this little question mark, yeah, it's going to open. I'm going to open like new tab, and you got a lot of examples. Because some actually JQL variables are restricted, yeah, which can be overcome with, like, for instance, commenting them. And there is a lot of real life, well, not like kind of real life examples if you go deeper into this document. So anyway, you can actually click it yourself. But let's come back to that. And I am going to start from scratch. But now, again, I will do something not super fancy. Let's maybe do something, let's say, pretty simple. But let's focus on OR. What is actually OR? How to utilize OR? So we've got this boolean, yeah? All right, so what of the usage of the OR in like very simple words, for instance, when we create a very simple query based on our, again, SSB, but this time I would like to include issue type, which is bug, plus story. So you can do it actually two ways. So I'm going to show you the way which I'm not a big fan of it, but it's going to illustrate you how to actually utilize the or in this case. So again, I'm going to go for project equals SSB or P, whatever. Yeah. And as I told you, we've got stories and bugs. So now we have to use again and we say issue type equals story. Cool. So again, it looks good. We've got 26, but now let's add or yeah, or issue type equals bug. But before I'm going to hit enter, just to let you know, like going a little bit ahead, this is actually wrong query. Please stay tuned. I'm going to explain you why. So because it's actually a good example. So what's happened? Something interesting happens over here. So suddenly I know it should be something like not actually 62, but I now should be something like close to 20, 27 or 30. So what's the problem with this query? So let's analyze. We've got project equals SSB and the issue type is story or bug. Interesting. So that's how Jira works, and until this actually section, everything works fine. But because we add or, this one is going to beyond this query, and in this moment is actually start listing all bugs from Jira. So what to do? How to tie it together? And the answer to that is in a bracket. So this one is the correct approach to that. So you have to, if you want to put, like me, bracket into that. So look at this now. Suddenly we've got 30 because I know there is actually 3 plus 27. Yeah. So that's also how you're going to utilize the bracket. However, as I told you, I do not actually prefer working with this kind of JQL, because you can, of course, do it in a few ways. There is a little bit simpler way to do it. I mean, I'm going to show you right now. So how to include 2, 3, or maybe more variables into my string, what I'm looking for. So to answer to that is we're not going to use or, so we're still going to say issue type, but we're not going to use equals, but we're going to use in. Yeah, and at this moment I'm going to open, actually I think you can open the bracket, but I believe Jira is going to do it for you. So look at this, we're going to look at for story. There you go. Oh yeah, it's open bracket, and if you put comma, you can put another one, and let's say back, yeah? So let's see, you have to close the bracket, and again, search it. And of course, if you want sorting, you can actually sort it by, for instance, created as ascending or descending. And look at this, let's have a look. What's happened? We've got 30, so it works fine. So can you understand now the difference between equals and the in? Equals, of course, is for one, and in is for multiple. But there is actually another one, we can have a little bit more fun. And if you go for issue time, because maybe you're gonna say it's not in. Yeah, so I don't want to list it. Let's say stories. Yeah, and by the way, it also is going to work for one variable. Yeah, the in does need to be many. It can work for, it's like the one's like almost different than not equal. Yeah, so not equal actually. There you go. So it's so it's listing everything but story. All right. So now let's have a little bit more fun and add multiple projects. So how to add to this query very quickly 2 or 3 or 4 projects. To answer to that, again, super simple. We navigate to the beginning and we delete the equals. And again, I'm not going to use equals, but I'm going to use in. And again, you don't have to, I actually very often open the bracket, yeah, but you can put SSB, yeah, comma, and if you put comma, he's asking you, oh, maybe you want to put another project, yeah, and like whatever, we're gonna put something whatever, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, and I'm going to close the bracket. Oh, and by the way, if you've actually been seeing this probably on your screen, the ends was red, because obviously if you do not tidy up the syntax, the query is not valid. So that's it. All right, it works pretty great. Cool. So this is, I'm gonna almost stop over here, because obviously there was like really basic overview of the JQL. Please let me know if you have more questions, what you want to see, because you've got more examples in my document. Yeah, like for instance, I want to show you this. This is actually pretty cool, as I promised you, about the sprints. So let's actually copy paste that. Let's see if that's going to work, if I'm going to copy paste that. No, because I don't have a project, so we have to put something as Scrumpy. There you go, works fine. I need to actually update, but I don't really need to update this query, because you have to, of course, put your project name before probably just rename the project. So what's happened? So it's listing all issues for the closed sprint. And actually, if you remove that, you can have a further sprint or open sprint. Yeah, so very cool, very cool. And that's why I'm gonna even, I'm gonna add this to this actually example right now, because I can tell you something. 4 more pages are coming. I'm putting more and more stuff to this actually document here. So this is actually how you can get started with the JQL. And in the next video, which is coming very soon, over there, I'm just probably here, you're gonna find a tutorial how to start with dashboards. Plus, I'm going to show you how to convert this query, what you're actually seeing over here, into the dashboard. Just to tease you, I'm going to show you how to do it. So you go basically advanced search. We paste the JQL, and I believe you can do it from here, from export, create a dashboard gadget. Yeah, so one of the coolest things, how you can utilize dashboard. So thank you very much for this, for this time. It was fun to record, and as always, if you like it, please leave the comment, leave the thumb up, and any questions, let me know. I really love to answer all your questions, and you can see next video about the dashboard over there. Thanks a lot.